Well, a lot of folks don't know what the Chicano movement was about or what Chicanas did out of that movement. And so for me, it's a social and political statement that a lot of the work we did in the 60s and 70s really opened up a lot of doors for the people that are now in political and social leadership roles here. And I think there is a lack of understanding of what all of those hoops were to get to where we are now, which gives us a really good grounding from where people then can take off. But I think because unless you're enrolled in Chicano studies or in Mecha at the universities, you don't get that information. Case in point, one of the magazines, a monthly magazine who will remain nameless, did a spread on 150 years of history in Oregon. And I think there's like one paragraph devoted to Latinos. There's one page, but that was produced by the Hispanic Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce, thank goodness. But we're essentially invisible here. So part of it is I go to meetings where I may be the only woman of color or clearly the only Latina, and so I have to be thinking of what people are assuming about me without having that kind of connection. I think we are now in a point with a critical mass of women, Latina women, Hispanic women, women of color in general here in Portland that are beginning to coalesce in a lot of different places. So that for that we're really, really thankful. So I can start to, like I used to do in Texas, walk down the street and see people who look like me. Start to go into conferences and meetings and feel that as well. I come from a social ethic, and I also come from a faith-based ethic, at least in that. And I thought, as people of faith coming in contact with others and being really surprised how our core values really coincided. And I think I found that with labor unions, I found that with teachers, I found it with workers, I found it with all the academic areas. And I think there is an underlying core thread that kind of unites us. And I think the revelation of who would be at the table on an issue, whether it was peacemaking or worker justice or improving the health care, there were alliances that crossed cultures and even crossed political lines or partisan lines. I think we suffered in the last 8 years of profound partisanship that really divided people, and I think some people are still hurting about that. So we have to look at a process of kind of reconciliation in that sense, and I think we try to reconcile in those small spaces of encounter ever so often.